Hey, what's up, guys? First RV here, back with part 6 of our series, and today I'm gonna share some of you guys I came across quite a few years ago, and it's something that I think the Air Force created. It's something I think we've adopted, but not doctrinal. It's not in any of the regulations or anything like that. But I think it's a great starting point uh, to get your mind wrapped around being a first sergeant and what your duties and responsibilities and what's expected of you, right? So it's called the First Sergeant's Creed. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen. Alright, so like I said, I have not found this in doctrine. If you look on the internet and stuff, you'll find some stuff about this. But the First Sergeant Creed, I think this is pretty freaking awesome. I kind of wish the Army would adopt this. If they have, or you know more about this than me, please let me know. Alright? So, a little bit of background on this, right? It was created by the Air Force. I've not seen, like I said, anything mentioned in doctrine about this, but this creed makes perfect sense to me. Um, Not sure if we adopted it silently or we just use it on special occasions, but I have seen it used during ceremonies, promotion ceremonies, and NCO induction ceremonies, and so forth, right? So without further ado, let's go over it. So I am a first sergeant, right? My job is people. Everyone is my business. I dedicate my time and energy to their needs, their health, morale, and welfare. I grow in strength by strengthening my people. My job is done in faith. My people build faith. My job is people. Everyone is my business. You break this down, it hits home, right? So when I first found out about this years ago, when I became a first sergeant, one of the first things I did was I memorized this. And I know, like I said, it's not doctrine, but it makes perfect sense on everything we do, and it sums up what we actually do and what is expected of us. So we're going to break it down a little, right? So I've got some pointers I want to make with this creed. So thoughts on what it means, right? So to me, a true first sergeant will begin his or her march to the front and then march to the rear to make sure no one is falling behind, right? We lead from the front. We take care of our own. We find our weakest link or soldiers that are struggling, and we pick them up. He'll take care of his soldiers' needs. The unit knows the first sergeant watches over them and always makes his voice known in the time of need, right? So don't be afraid to speak up when you know your soldiers are down or demoralized and they need some assistance and need someone to bring them up. So I got several points I want to make this, right? So building them up instead of cutting them down. That's one of the first points I want to make. While it's true that management involves a certain amount of direction and problem solving, great leaders realize a significant part of their role also involves coaching their people and facilitating better performance, right? It is simple enough, but it's not easy to pull off because it requires a sincere commitment to ongoing interaction with their people, and it takes time. You have to interact with your people as a first sergeant, okay? Interact with your people in positive ways. Become familiar with your soldiers' talents, limitations, and give them the tools and encouragement they need to succeed. My second point is foster a positive atmosphere, right? I want you to ask yourself and answer truthfully, right? Do you enjoy going to work? Do you think your soldiers look forward to coming to work, right? I think that's a huge part. I've always said that when I don't look forward to coming to work every day, it's time for me to go, right? And I'm a firm believer in that. If you're not loving it and your people aren't loving it in return, something is seriously wrong, and your unit soldiers and leaders aren't going to give you their best. When you can go to bed and look forward to getting up early and going to work, you'll know you have made your workplace a fun place to be. A positive atmosphere is full of constructive energy, and your peers, seniors, and subordinates will notice, and it'll spread like a wildfire. When they see the first sergeant motivated, happy, in a good mood, your soldiers and your leaders and everyone else will follow suit, right? You set the tone. My third point is model the behaviors you want, right? No one likes a hypocrite, especially when the hypocrite's your boss, right? If you want your soldiers to follow the standards and be disciplined, you have to do it as well, all right? Your people watch you very closely, and if you aren't walking the talk, you can bet your soldiers won't either. And what I mean by that is the eyes are always on the first sergeant. Just keep that in mind. If you want more engaged soldiers and leaders, improve your customer service to them, right? So as a first sergeant, we're in the customer service business. Our job is people. Take care of our own. Odds are good you'll start to see positive changes the right way. My fourth point is trust your own judgment, right? There's no end to the list, tools, and resources you can find to help improve you as a first sergeant, right? Like I was telling you in previous videos, you have to stay in the regulations, you have to stay in the manuals, you have to constantly read up, find out, hey, what's out there for my soldiers? How can I better serve them, right? Believe it or not, you already have the most important thing you need to be an effective leader, your own common sense. A lot of the things we do, we have to use our best judgment and common sense. Exercise, listen to the inner voice at every possible opportunity, right? Pay attention to your intuition and let your sense of fairness be your guide whenever possible. Don't just manage your people, get to know them, right? So I'm a firm believer soldiers can see right through our bullcrap. When you walk past one of your soldiers, hey, how you doing today? Girl, that's outstanding. Awesome. You just walk by. You're not sincere. Take the time to actually talk to them. Hey, how's your family life going? What's going on? How's this? How's that? Tell me about your wife. Tell me about your kid. You guys going on vacation soon. Build that relationship, build that rapport, and let the soldier know that, hey, the first sergeant truly cares about me, right? However, like most everything else in life, like I said, the more you do it, the easier it gets. This may not be easy for some people, right? This is something you have to learn, and it comes with practice. You can put your people first by interacting and communicating with them often and sincerely. Listen to them. Listen to their needs. Listen to their gripes, their concerns, okay? Encourage them, provide them with guidance, respect their efforts, and ask questions to get a feeling for what motivates them. Like I told you in a previous video, I always ask my soldiers and my leaders, what's the one thing that motivates you, that makes you get out of bed in the morning? And like I said, you'd be surprised at what some of them have to, how they answer it. You'll know you're interacting positively when your people, when they in turn make time to interact with you, right? So what I mean by that is the more you interact with them, the more comfortable and the more they're willing to share what's actually going on with their lives, right? 6, acknowledge and reward, but with discretion, right? Everyone likes to be recognized when they do a good job or exceed the standards. That's to be honest, right? We all want that a boy, right? But carefully consider and communicate the behaviors you want from your people, right? Acknowledge your soldiers' efforts and embrace those behaviors. Be careful not to reward poor behavior by ignoring it or brushing off. This is where standards and discipline come in, right? You have to treat everyone across the board fairly, impartially, all right? Demand the best, but always remember they are human, and everyone makes mistakes. They are not perfect, and you are not perfect either. We are all human, all right? My last point is accept the change is constant. Not only can everything change tomorrow, but odds are good it will, right? Visionary accepts the fact as an opportunity for things to get better, while the premise feels it only confirms his worst fears. Change is constant in our formations and in our personal lives. We all know this. Soldiers, leaders, we come and go, right? But as a result, we have to be flexible. Adaptability are two of the most important qualities for success, okay, both in long and short term. Set a good example by rolling with the inevitable changes and help your people do the same. So like I said, this is just something I came across many years ago, but I really think that it hits home and it gives us an idea of what our job is, and it provides us the insight to know that, hey, people are my job. Hope y'all are enjoying this video. This series has been fun so far. We're actually getting ready to go into our next part of the series, which is the command team relationships portion. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, go Ordnance.